franchise.
My goodness. Well, that was just a neat little surprise. Rob Liefeld, who drew Lady Pool.
I love Rob.
He's cool,
Isn't
right?
he great?
Yeah. He
Oh my God. Well, that was just a neat little surprise. Rob Liefeld, who drew Lady Poe. I love Rob. He's cool, right? Yeah. Let's not mince words. Ryan Reynolds just got straight up booted from Disney, or so the headlines scream. And if that's not bonkers enough, we've got Justin Baldoni throwing down a lawsuit over some mysterious nice pool character. Maybe you've heard the whispers. Reynolds apparently went rogue, crossing lines so outrageous that the Mouse House slammed the door in his face. Believe it or not, folks, this is the meltdown everyone's buzzing about, and we're here to dish it all.
No.
It's not every day a guy gets to interview the love interest of his best friend's wife, and the guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband and me as his best mate.
Holy shit.
Because trust me, you won't believe what's coming next. Get this, rumors are swirling that during a behind-closed-doors meeting, Ryan Reynolds flew off the handle at a team of Disney executives. We're talking raised voices, intense phone calls, storming out of conference rooms. Supposedly, this meltdown sparked a chain reaction that left Disney top dogs feeling disrespected and cornered. They'd poured boatloads of faith and cash into Reynolds fronting multiple marquee projects, but once those behind-the-scenes tantrums spilled over, folks say Mickey's castle turned ice cold.
I could not be more excited, actually. I'm 11 years excited. When I talk about it, I always just grateful I'm wearing an adult diaper. This movie has been just the biggest pain in the ass to get made. And
what's so wild is just how sudden it seems. 1 minute, you've got Reynolds cruising on that freewheeling, wisecracking persona he's built over the years. Mr. Charisma, always smiling in public. The next, we're hearing about unacceptable arrogance and reckless disregard for the very brand that gave him a platform. The meltdown itself supposedly involved arguments over a comedy bit called Nice Pool, which might have been pitched or partially developed under Disney's umbrella. The swirling rumor? Reynolds tried to claim it as his personal baby.
Approached a senior executive at WME and expressed his deep disdain for Baldoni, going as far as to suggest that the agency is working with a sexual predator.
Ignoring prior input from Justin Baldoni. If that's not enough to rattle your brain, wait till you hear how fast Disney moved. There's chatter they convened a hush-hush emergency session of upper management, deciding on the spot that Reynolds was out. No announcements, no press releases, just a swift snap of the fingers. He was gone. And the big question on everyone's minds, why such a drastic measure? Sure, he might have spouted off or said something out of line, but this is Ryan Reynolds. The brand synergy alone typically grants a big star a mile of leeway. So what kind of bombshell lit the fuse so fast?
I had no idea, but in 2010, he drew Lady Deadpool, and at the same time, I was cast in the Green Lantern with my now husband, who is not my husband then.
Well, brace yourself, because that meltdown was only the appetizer. What follows is pure spectacle. Fast forward to the next day, and the rumor mill was in overdrive. Leaked voicemails, hush-hush texts, and maybe even suspicious audio clips. Some claim that in these alleged recordings, you can actually hear Reynolds trashing the creative direction Disney wanted. He's apparently heard ranting about how they'll never own my comedic style, and telling a top exec that this isn't your grandma's silly cartoon, so back off. Brutal. But for a star who's built a persona on being playful and fan-focused, it's downright shocking.
And so I read the script and I just immediately did a voice note. And I didn't call because I wanted it just to be my blah without any questions. And literally 60 minutes of it is crap.
With third-party companies, think cameo tie-ins or streaming services, bypassing Disney's standard procedures. One version of the rumor says that a Disney staffer discovered these side deals and felt blindsided, tipping off the higher-ups. Another version suggests that these nice pool bits were initially Disney's property, but Reynolds was trying to do a standalone project on the sly. And to top it off, Justin Baldoni's name surfaces with claims that he's the original creative mind behind the concept. The big kicker here, Justin Baldoni isn't backing down.
I'll agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to high treason.
Word on the street is that these voicemails might contain references to Baldoni's previous ideas, and Baldoni has a paper trail to prove it. So it wasn't just that Reynolds stepped on Disney's toes, he may have stepped on Baldoni's legal property as well. Talk about a double whammy. Disney, already reeling from negative press, was apparently sitting on a PR powder keg. They allegedly tried to do damage control behind closed doors, but the meltdown was too big to hide.
It was inarticulate, it was embarrassing,
but great.
I learned this from my acting teacher. When you first read a play or a script, write down everything you think because you never have those eyes again.
When you have a star of Reynolds' caliber flinging barbs left and right and throwing shade at co-creators, that's a scandal waiting to explode. Plus, imagine fans hearing that their favorite comedic hero isn't so warm and fuzzy after all. The heartbreak alone might have pressured Disney to cut ties, no matter the cost. But guess what? We're just scratching the surface. Baldoni has allegedly been working on Nice Pool for a while, a quirky concept revolving around comedic pool scenes where deeper life lessons seep through. Enter Ryan Reynolds, who apparently latched onto the concept, pitched it to Disney's big wigs, and claimed it as his own spark of genius. Insiders speculate that Baldoni confronted Reynolds privately, demanding credit or at least acknowledgement. The response? Radio silence.
And Rob Liefeld drew Lady Pool based on, he and his wife watched Gossip Girl.
Yes.
So it just was just a crazy, it's just like how the world just kind of.
So he had already had you in mind for that?
He did. And then, my husband and I, got married. Deadpool was made.
No apology, no co-ownership discussion, nada. That's when Baldoni supposedly lost his patience. He's said to have lawyered up, amassing every scrap of evidence, emails, text messages where Reynolds praised Baldoni's vision, and possibly even behind-the-scenes photos capturing them discussing Nice Pool. The bombshell is that Baldoni's lawsuit states Reynolds acted with calculated disregard, a phrase that's already fueling 1,000 tabloid headlines. Baldoni's argument seems to be, this was my creation and Ryan stole it for a...
There was no association with Ryan. Ryan had no association with Deadpool. I mean, he was supposed to make this movie, but it was a pipe dream. It wasn't ever really going to happen.
Big Disney payout. Cue the drama. With Baldoni filing paperwork, the courts get involved and suddenly Disney's brand looks even shakier. Did they know about Baldoni's role? Did they ignore it in favor of star power? To top it off, Baldoni's social media presence turned cryptic. He posted vague references to backstabbing in Hollywood and fighting for what's right, fueling speculation among fans who already suspect Reynolds of pulling strings. Then boom! Disney's rumored firing of Reynolds. Plenty of folks connect the dots. Once the lawsuit hit, Disney saw a serious liability in continuing to hitch their wagon to Reynolds. If Baldoni's evidence is half as solid as rumored, this fiasco could humiliate everyone involved.
There's some people, I've had people who, I don't necessarily, we're not best buddies at all moments, but, do we do well together on screen? And there's some people that, we're best buddies, and then on screen it's like, so you just never really know.
And this fiasco has drawn a crowd of side characters, each with their own spicy take. People are whispering about Blake Lively's concern that her husband's meltdown might tarnish their brand and philanthropic endeavors. Some say she's furious behind the scenes, urging him to come clean. Some of Disney's stable names like Tom Holland or Brie Larson may be quietly relieved that the spotlight's off them. The chatter is that big studio stars see this as a wake-up call. No one is invincible, not even comedic darlings. Still not convinced the scandal has peaked? Wait till you hear about Reynolds' rumored manipulative side. Ryan Reynolds built a goldmine brand on irreverent humor and that guy next door vibe. But behind that polished facade, insiders are now saying Reynolds can be demanding, using his comedic charm to bend colleagues to his will. Some accounts claim that if you don't fall in line with his vision, he'll sideline you faster than you can blink. It's a stark contrast. On camera, all quips and smiles. Off camera, a laser-focused operator who knows exactly how to spin any situation to his advantage. Think about it. If the lawsuit reveals text chains painting Reynolds as the main orchestrator behind Nice Pool, then we're seeing a pattern. For years, folks may have assumed he was just taking the lead on comedic projects. In reality, he might have been brushing aside collaborators or swallowing up their ideas whole. This tension between heroic comedic star and possible backroom manipulator is fueling massive fan outrage. Some watchers feel betrayed, like the charismatic showman they trusted was all an act. The damage might already be done. Critics point out that Reynolds has a history of pivoting comedic bits into multi-million-dollar marketing deals. Remember his marketing empire with alcohol brands and phone companies? Picture that same cunning mind using someone else's concept to secure a mega contract with Disney. Not so far-fetched now, is it? But there's more. Fresh allegations keep surfacing. A source close to the situation allegedly leaked emails referencing hush-hush payouts and NDAs. It's a cloak and dagger storyline fit for the biggest tabloids. The meltdown that started with shouting behind closed doors seems to have unraveled a monstrous tapestry of half-truths and secret negotiations. Disney's legal team might be bracing for a discovery process that could pull top executives into depositions. Can you imagine the headlines if Bob Iger had to testify about who who pitched the nice pool concept first? Insanity. Those close to Reynolds maintain this is all blown out of proportion. They argue that Reynolds never intentionally stole anything, that he was just championing a comedic bit he thought up with maybe some light brainstorming from Baldoni. But that doesn't square well with talk of official documents, which Baldoni's camp says are bulletproof. And then there's the question of exactly how volatile Reynolds' meltdown was. Did he just have a bad day, or did he verbally assault people in that conference room? The scariest possibility is that recordings might exist. If they do, we can bet they'll find their way onto social media for the entire planet to see. People always assume big Hollywood stars are bulletproof, but as this fiasco proves, one good meltdown and one determined lawsuit can upend an entire career overnight. Even with Disney cutting ties, the noise is only amplifying because folks smell blood in the water. The internet is a savage place. Memes are flying around mocking Reynolds as the poster boy for a meltdown of epic proportions. One viral clip features a montage of his wisecracks spliced with text about him being too busy stealing jokes to notice he's stealing IP. Brutal. Fans who once championed him as Hollywood's funniest figure are now posting disclaimers like, "Guess he's not so innocent after all." Late-night hosts are rumored to be drafting entire monologues poking fun at Reynolds' downfall. Meanwhile, Baldoni supporters are crowing triumphantly, championing him as a righteous underdog who refused to let a big-name star walk all over him. Behind the curtain, some say Reynolds is seething, trying to tamp down the narrative that he's a duplicitous fraud. One comedic influencer posted a skit about Ryan's next pool, joking it's a kiddie pool full of half-baked ideas. Ouch! This comedic onslaught underlines just how quickly public favor can shift. Yesterday, social media crowned him the comedic king. Today, they're cutting him down with savage wit, yet the hammer still hasn't fully dropped. Some folks claim Disney's legal team is finalizing statements that reference brand new allegations. Others whisper that Baldoni has more evidence up his sleeve, like interview outtakes or additional texts proving Reynolds systematically tried to erase Baldoni's contributions. Some insiders say the meltdown never really ended. Reynolds is rumored to be venting to any ally who'll listen, accusing Baldoni of orchestrating a malicious PR campaign. But ironically, that's the hallmark of a meltdown, when you can't stop lashing out even as your empire teeters. As for Disney, insiders say they're done. They want no part of the meltdown, no part of the shady underpinnings, no part of lawsuits. For them, the final straw was the potential that Reynolds' behind-the-scenes behavior might come to light, overshadowing the family-friendly image Disney cherishes. Now fans stand on edge waiting to see if Reynolds can orchestrate a public apology, or if Baldoni will press forward. Is there a chance this all gets settled quietly? Doubtful. Not with the internet in a frenzy and the courts involved. The downfall might be unstoppable, and any last-ditch attempt to salvage Reynolds' brand could only come off as damage control. This saga started as a murmur. Ryan Reynolds might be in hot water, and escalated into a towering inferno of accusations, lawsuits, and exposed manipulations. Disney apparently washed its hands of him, fueling the rumor that his meltdown was the final straw. Justin Baldoni is marching into court claiming he was robbed of his creative property. Is Ryan Reynolds the victim of a smear campaign, or did he orchestrate his own downfall by messing with forces he couldn't control? Either way, this story isn't going away anytime soon. The meltdown, the voicemails, the hush-hush deals, it's all out in the open, painting a picture of a star who may have believed he was invincible. But no one is untouchable when scandal strikes Hollywood. And if we've learned anything from this fiasco, it's that a carefully cultivated persona can shatter faster than a cracked glass when real evidence surfaces. So ask yourself, can you believe any of this? Because the real shocker might be that we've only uncovered the tip of the iceberg. The next wave of revelations could be around the corner. And trust me, things could get a whole lot crazier. Keep your eyes peeled, folks, because in a scandal this messy, the final chapter is never truly written.